Hang on, you need a snack? I also need a snack. So I will also... It's gonna be a minute, don't worry. Swear to fucking God, these hands are gonna be the death of me. I'm gonna invent an entirely new system of this fucking technology. But my hands are working, so all right. Up. For that, I'm good to go. I'll hang out over here. Hi, hello. Let me just move the microphone. I am so fucking ready. It's important to have snacks, you know, it truly is. What would this world be without a little snack? I've got my snack right here. Here, you'll be able to hear the snack that I have. It's a can of Pepsi. Pepsi is like a snack. Caffeine is my calories. And obviously, of course, the enormous amount of... what's in this one? This high fructose corn? It's high fructose corn syrup. It's Pepsi Cherry. I'm a snack. That's true. No! Don't you do it! Ah! Oh! It is freezing where I am. This is a horrible fate you've consigned me to. I was checking the news because it's gonna hit so bad. Vanilla, what are you doing? Why are you throwing a tantrum? Isaac and Joy, I will definitely look into this game. It's something that's so like difficult when you want to play games on your own, because I really want to watch other people play this game too. I've been seeing like I've been seeing people streaming this game, and I'm like, I really want to check them out. I really want to see what their thoughts are about this. And then I went, and then I'm like, but I want to play, but I want to play, but I want to play. I don't want to get spoiled on all the twists, all the turns. I know like a handful of things, but they're kind of basic things. I don't know how far the story buries the lead on the things that I know, you know? Looking mighty fine today. Blame double. The snow is gonna go above my knee. Yeah, no, this winter storm, this polar vortex that's gonna fuck the like eastern seaboard U.S. is pretty rough. But you know, we vibe. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Please stay safe. You know it. I will do my best. Find a man that fucks me the hardest as snow. Fuck the eastern seaboard. If fucking new Chuck Tingle novel. The Alpha Winter Polar Vortex Storm of 2026 fucks the personified eastern seaboard. Well, we're not here. We're not here for the men this time. This time, it's about the women. We are playing Of the Devil. It is a visual novel mystery game starring Morgan... Cheesed in my head. That definitely sounds like a Chuck Tingle novel. Yeah, no, I can imagine anything. W women, so true. Okay. Yeah, women. Can we get some? Let's hear it. Salute for women. So true. 07 to women. There we go. Okay. So, what I know about Of the Devil is what I've seen on Tumblr from hit streamer Demily Pyro. She has been posting a lot about it. She's been having a lot of fun with the game. I've been trying to avoid big rants, big walls of text that are spoilers, because I'm not very good at like adding blacklists, because I wouldn't be very good at removing things from the blacklists. So even things that are tagged, I just simply. You just read the title being "I support women's wrongs." That is the title, right? I did do it right. Well, you see, I don't know how to tell you this, Starry, but the Yuri's a little bit toxic. It's a little bit toxic Yuri. A little bit. In real life, I'd be going, ooh. I get it. You've been spoiled for trails because I'm too lazy to blacklist. I got spoiled for the Somnium Files Nirvana initiative on Twitter because I wouldn't blacklist. But I mean, especially Twitter, because even on Twitter, even though things will like be tagged, the algorithm will still just show it to you. I finished the game now, so it doesn't matter. We love women in male-dominated fields toxicity. We love women in male-dominated fields. Absentee father. You don't think she could have gone out to go get cigarettes and milk? Change your mindset. All right. Okay. I know a couple of other spoilers about this game. I played the demo at Anime NYC. I was in town for like reasons, and the convention was right there. And I was like, well, I mean, it's right there. So I do already have a little keychain, acrylic keychain, and some stickers of Morgan and some of the other characters in this game, which is pretty awesome. Of course not. They produce their own milk. Why do they need to go out? Well, horrible. I'm so sad because my game crashed when I was playing 999 and lost progress. Okay, that 999 is good because it does have a skip all option. You don't need to just have the skip run. This game does too. Let's hop on over just to get just to have the transition ready so we can get into this wonderful little game we have. But yeah, that's definitely rough with 999 because so much of that game, like, well, the escape rooms are going to take some time, but if you know the solutions, you can just do them pretty quickly. It's absolutely one of those games. I'll lurk. Have a good time. Have a good night. Yeah, enjoy lurking. Thank you for the support. All right, let's hop in. I played a little bit of the demo. I don't know how much of that carries over into like the first part of the game. Now I have episode 0. I have episode 1. I don't have episode 2 yet, but there's absolutely no way we're getting to episode 2 in this stream. And I'm pretty sure this game is okay on keyboard and mouse, so I'll just keep it on keyboard and mouse. I could do controller, but I'm all right. I'm okay. I'll live. It's okay. I'm glad you made the time back pretty quickly, because, boy howdy. I'm thinking back to my Zero Escape stream. Zero Escape being fucking, like, 9-hour long stream. And that wasn't even all of it, I don't think. Might have been all of it. God. When I did 9-hour long stream, something was wrong with me. Something was truly wrong with me. Oh my God. All right. Let's hop in. You have that on YouTube? Yes, I do. Check. There's a link to my VOD channel down below. I'm pretty sure it's down there. But yeah, I've got my 999. Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad, Vanilla. Don't you remember how bad it was? You tapped out at an appropriate time, and I kept going. Uchikoshi had me in a fucking headlock and said, "Play my game, white boy." And I said, "It's not even accurate, but okay." I'm like, you're like 75% right on both fronts, but how dare you? You remember having to go back for the rest of the VOD, yeah. Wait! I've got enough mixed in me. I've got some Filipino. I've got some Italian, though, you know, a lot of people do consider that white anyways. Some people don't, but they're extremely racist. But yeah, I've got that, like, American blend, you know? I'm whatever. My thought you were blue. Americano. I'm timing out double for 10 seconds. How dare you? Oh, that was 10 minutes. Whoopsies. We love mixed ethnicity. You know what I love is figuring out how to fix that. Can I undo that? Okay, cool. Thank you, Vanilla. Welcome back, Double. We love being mixed. It's so true. All right. For the love of God, I gotta get into this fucking game. I don't remember how, so I'll have to figure it out at some point. Boy howdy, I'm not a good mod, am I? All right. You know what? I got time. Let's do this real quick. Subscriptions, discounts. I got 2 more left. This'll be a good discount. For the next 4 hours, subscriptions are 35% off. Yay! You got timed out and then it went to ads? That's really funny. You will. I don't have automatic ads on. You can do that. Why? Twitch offers 70 hours of discounts that you can do 7 times a year. That was a beta test that they launched last year. And it was gonna end in December, but then the last month of December, they like ran their own 35% discount. So like you couldn't run a separate discount in addition. So they rolled it over to the end of this month. So either they'll keep doing this and give streamers the ability to offer their communities tier 1 gift sub discounts for gift subs of 5 gift subs or more, or they won't, and this is it. All right. But it's running now. At least it should be. Let me go back to my Dreambus manages. What? Well, thank you for the gift subs with the discount. Yes! Marketing! Ah! Is that an old model? Yes. Yes, it is. I don't think I'll ever get around to updating that model because I don't. Thank you for the gift sub, Starry. I'm glad, Double, you've gotten a gift sub. Welcome in. You can now use more emotes. This one is so good, so why would you? Well, I would update it with this model. I would update the GIF with this model. That one's extremely old, and I can do way better now. My hair, I like my hair a lot more. But yeah. Anyways, hi Monokuma, Living Idle. What the fuck are you playing? This is Toxic Yuri Ace Attorney. Toxic Yuri Ace Attorney. Toxic Yuri Ace Attorney. And one day I'll hit the start button and I'll start playing this fucking game. No, I ain't staying for long. I was actually planning to play this game when they finally complete the game fully. Yeah, I can't wait. I gotta check it out now. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi, Monokuma. Hope you have a good rest of your evening. We will be checking it out, which means that when you eventually check it out when the game's done, you can go back and watch the VODs to see our fun reactions. There's one thing I hate, it's in playing an incomplete game. I get that. This is actually just chatting stream. It was all a ruse. Got fooled once. It's not a ruse. I will hit the button, please. Got fooled once and I hated it. That's fair. But I've enjoyed my time with Deltarunes. Ah! Rocks. No. Okay. All right. Let's hop in. Toxic Yuri, Ace Attorney of the Devil. Rain sizzles off the neon above me. Half the fun is shooting the breeze with the chatty streamer. Oh my god. Apparently it's not because I can't talk for shit. Now I make my strategic withdrawal to finish playing No Sleep Can Amidate. Enjoy that game. There's also Yuri. Yippee! The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambiance. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. This city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. I should turn the game down a little bit. Let me pull up my phone, go to the settings. How's this? How's this balance? I think this is good. This is about what I was expecting it to be. Anyways, look at this diegetic UI. We got the phone menu. Better? I'm glad. Okay, cool. Customize phone. Morgan time. It's Morgan time. I have this charm. I bought it from the developers at Anime NYC. She's about to Morgan. The white phone case is free and comes with. Get some free. Neko Morg. Try to pet the cat in episode 2. Clear episode 1 on high roller. Is that a difficulty setting? Do I have? Oh right, I'm in episode 0, so it doesn't. The difficulty settings aren't here yet. It's Morgan time. I'm about to morgue. Scanning for morgue heads. There's no escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. Yeah! It's Morgan time! Hi, Morgan. Morgan! It's Morgan. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Opening my hype chest. That's a serve emote. Oh shit. Oh shit, that cat? That cat do be serving. Look at that cat servant. Choo-choo. My favorite part was when she morgued all over the place. That's so true. She's about to morgue all over the place. I know that for sure. Because this whole world's lit up. Tapped out. Never unknown and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity. Anonymity is scarce. And criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. It's given Danganronpa 3D BG 2D chars. Yeah! The developers have mentioned that a lot of their inspiration for this game came from Ace Attorney, Death Note, Danganronpa, Umineko. I haven't played Umineko yet. Maybe I won't ever. It's a very long game from what I've heard. But I've played everything else. See cat. See a cat. Not that there's much else I can do until my phone. Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. Currently texting with state.system. Jesus Christ. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. I'll try, heart. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Have you played Paranorma Site? No, but I've heard the name. A lot of precincts. Big city. Big city. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll use that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are gonna get busy. Of the Devil, episode 0. And he shall appear. Whoa, you are just a little kitty. So true. It's a short visual novel with horror themes. Okay, all right. It's probably it'll probably end up on the list. I'll probably check it out, but we'll see. Anyways, disable tutorials. You can turn them back on in settings. No, I would like to know how to play. Maybe next time I won't. Suspect hashtag not found. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. With nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. Always keep an eye out. Ooh. Terms. Holograms. As reading is formed by light. It may be specialized projectors or mediums like conductive resin, holograms, viewed from any part of a face, range of at least 180, Waterston illusion phenomenon, originally patented in late 2059. Well, it is like 4 in the morning. That's true, but still, 4 in the morning, there should be one cop there. But, you know, this is a world where crime is so, like, where everyone sees everything. It's a panopticon. So, you know. But also, shit, we got a time of, like, at least, like this is distant future. Originally patented in late 2059, Waterston's phenomenon was initially used exclusively in the adult entertainment industry. Holograms did not become widely adopted as an advertising tool until the much-aligned Holoday season of 2061, after which laws restricting the presence of holograms in public spaces were passed with uncharacteristically universal support. Much maligned Holoday. We're starting to see that you've installed a subroutine on this device to disable and highlight our recommended premium external links. We understand your drive for personalization, but unauthorized tech impacts our ability to serve you the best, most relevant information possible, considering disable your subroutine so we can serve you a more tailored browsing experience. These should be links, but Morgan installed a ad blocker to make it so that the links, while still highlighted and in yellow and important, are not actually clickable links, because that's stupid. And if you wanted to know, you would just look it up. I see. Awesome. I like going up here. Q for quick bar also pulls it up, but the mouse can just do it. It's a good UI. Anyways, we hate holograms. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. You'd think they'd treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever. If I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. Let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon on the top left to access the pause menu where you can save, load, or check settings. You can toggle the auto advancing text to the auto option or check previous lines of the backlog. Okay. We're going to bunch of pictures you can check. To investigate the area, you'll earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can. Credit is but the measure of your information gathering skill and your own credibility. So don't go broke. The King of Hearts. And oh man, what do you call those? I know the upper one would be a carrot. What if I Google that real quick? What if I go name? Nope. The less than sign? Does it have any other names? No. No, it's just the less than sign. Got it. Less than 3. Yeah. All right, so don't go broke. That's a bit sensitive, eh? I could see this camera if it were me. If it were me, I'd go like, surely have a little bit more flowy. But that's just me. All right, observe an actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. The museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. 1! Earned my first credit. Yay! Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. And again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel. And all during billable hours. But there's no room to sow doubt anymore. Not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. We got Deus Ex Human mods. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. Read. A data pad? I'll bite. Even when they're more advertising than an article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Keep your eye out for articles in the environment. They offer you insight and credit towards your investigation. Articles are added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. Choose the proper takeaway after reading, and you'll earn bonus credit. The much praised reading comprehension check. 4 credit. Subway fixes axed. City to refocus on Canopy. Declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded, city engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the system were being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive external cabling and erosion of the key tunnel fixtures were cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintenance and expansion of the hyper-super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the Canopy, high above our city streets. Reactions to this announcement could be characterized as blasé. It's been years since the subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up hope on them ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attention focused instead on the growing investigations into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. As one of the Canopy's major backers in City Hall, Long has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light and noise pollution. And with Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-steady political foundation of the Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week. But with these subways now officially no longer an option, people and corporations alike have little choice for how they complete their morning commute. However, not all reactions to the news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as vindication and possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to be a rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with a radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods that could make use of the flooded subway tunnels. Momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at a disappointing 3,359% over budget. Yeah, personal submarines to go through flooded subway tunnels. Yeah. Also, Like part of the reason flooded subway tunnels are bad is because flooded concrete erodes and collapses. Going cave diving in personal submarines is asking for 1 million personal ocean gates. Okay. The one council member was quoted as calling their system mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical in the extreme. In light of this latest announcement, Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea level to climate change, though there are dissenting voices. Very funny to have your future cyberpunk world where the sea level has risen enough to just fully flood all subways and all efforts against have failed, to still have people saying climate change isn't real. The sea levels just rise because they did that. Sounds like that idea for textile monorail train cars on existing rail networks. Yeah, no, there's going to be a startup hoping to like salvage and like repurpose infrastructure that was paid for by taxpayers 100 years ago that the government no longer wants to upkeep. Water rises and falls all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. Are we to? It appears you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account in order to stories that matter. Ballsy of them putting the paywall there. As if I'd reach for my wallet after hearing read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its efforts on the canopy. There'll be increased scrutiny around the canopy now that there's no plan B. Choose the proper takeaway after reading an article. Yay! I'm so smart! It's a massive project with massive budget. Lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment. Not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles. The civil planning equivalents of battle scars. From a fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. But walking in here now with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright, nothing else to do but to do it. This desk is programmed for check-in and information only. If you are experiencing an emergency, please use our universal contact number at string not found. Oh, interesting. That was an open curly brace and then a closed bracket. Interesting. Anyways, I think it was. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Conductive resin. All right, we got some cool shit. We got it's Gorilla Glass, but less good. You probably know the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken. Entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. But there's a few missing persons, too. 1 year of Silver Plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus, as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Bowman was getting desperate. That's really funny. A year of health insurance for information on a missing person. That's real dystopic. All right, I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. I'm gonna get checked in. Yay! We love robot girls. It booted up fine, so far so good. Good morning. Morgan here for the public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great! Please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call intake hollows charming, more like harmless. But that's probably what the designers are aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their text so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far so good, was it? Scan my card. They said provide the card, right? I can go check my messages. These are my terms. Where's my message? Backlog. Articles, profile, save, game limited. Terms, customers. Probably backlog, huh? Present your ID at the door to enter. Okay, cool. Terms, conductive resin. Conductive resin is an electromagnetic polymer used in a wide variety of stationary or portable devices with unique properties allowed to activate the display or processor. Ultra thin or even transparent electronics. Ooh! Upwards of 100 different pattern varieties of conductive resin, each intended for different use cases, industries, and environments, but they're all fairly lightweight and fragile except for the small handful formulated for military and security applications. High turnover products such as data pads and smartphones. Producers are frequently accused of engineered obsolescence by consumer rights groups, though these claims have never been proven before a court. Screen cracked, schedule a fix here. And data pads are lightweight portable electronic devices. No significant internal storage capabilities, so they get streamed the data from local networks. Okay. Ecologically wasteful newspapers. They've given evidence for the difficulty and expense involved in recycling them once their limited lifetime components expired. It wasn't until they were rebranded as ideal for privacy and security that datapads found success in the private and public sectors, where their ability to display location-logged content to help corporations minimize data leaks and give their advertisements targeted geographic relevance. Today, datapads are a mainstay of high-traffic public spaces and virtual physical hybrid workplaces, despite remaining unpopular even with most environmentalists and bibliophiles. Yeah. The subway thing we got. I keep on hitting escape just to go back. Profiles. Morgan. Hey, we got a profile. December 26, 175. Wait, don't ask. Blood type AB negative. Universal recipient A. You can accept blood from any blood type. A, B, O, ABO, AB, and positive as well. I'm pretty sure. The blood types double. Criminal defense attorney, puzzle, smoking, wooden furniture. Dislikes commercials, hairdressers, jogging, can fall asleep in any position. Coffee, decaf, drink, whiskey, sour. No, AB positive. Okay. AB positive is the universal recipient. That's right. Is negative, if you get positive blood, you'll still reject it. Okay, right. I forgot. I got mixed up on how that worked. I also dislike commercials. Anyways, ad break. No, I hard agree. Commercials suck. That's why I have every ad blocker known to man. I can't wait to get the Morgan time charm. It's really the only thing I'm playing for. Scan my card. Hey, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great. Now, could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why'd I even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. Oh, hey, look, just check your... Hey, in case you missed it. December 26th. Day after Christmas. After Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Several known to monkeys. I see. Have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's... Jeez. Okay, but I do want to see what happens if I'm a world-class airhead, so I'm going to pick October 25th as a funny bit. That's not quite correct. Would you like to try again? Right. Still half asleep, I guess. Would you like to check your profile to be certain? Kind of defeat the purpose of verification, wouldn't it? I'm sorry, but I'm not quick to make judgments about the futility of security theater. Thank you, ma'am. But you are allowed to say it's only theater? No. I must have misspoken. What I meant to say was that my birthday is December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? I mean the interrogation room. I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. You could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel, sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection dully warped across the gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor? Can I help you with anything else? Ooh, choices that progress the story forward will cause other options to shrink away when selected. Choices that will take the conversation down side paths will not. Because the article you read earlier, you've unlocked an additional choice in this dialogue. Read and examine at every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most out of every conversation. Okay, so this one is the progression. These two are not. What are you? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. Why the disrepair? I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? That'll be all, thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office, through the door to your right. Thanks, but I think it's just me for now. So you could go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. What were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide office. Homicide detective's office. I love, like, are you sentient? Are you a person? And they're like, no. Single bead of sweat forms on the image. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks, and they don't get my jokes. Ads. Ads being, of course, automated dependence. Automated dependence is a catch-all term for encompassing robots, AI, interactive program, holograms, and androids. Ads are present both digitally and physically in every industry and nation on the planet, assisting in everything from data management to physical labor. In the mid-21st century, lobbyists pushed through the new tax classifications to define intelligent machines that were neither salaried employees nor mere equipment because it afforded tax rates and lighter tariffs. The term became so commonly used that it spread to all branches of the robotics industry, from which point it began to penetrate into everyday speech and pop culture. Some sociologists argue that the term owes its popularity not simply to its brevity and prevalence, but to its ability to draw a distinction between the commonplace robots, androids, smart UIs, etc., and the internationally illegal artificial intelligences. Searching for this term may incur an account flag. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. I see. AI itself is illegal because the sentience is the issue. I guess. Probably, is what it seems. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Oh, we're loading. That's what it is. Okay. A cave opens. Eyes gone bad or something? A voice. No, voice is coming from down the hall. Compared to yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. The building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. Bit I try to be serious. I do know the characters a little bit based on the colors and the descriptions that I've seen. Well, the other rings with youthful indignation. Not like your job is important or anything. Definitely cops. And at this precinct at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. The whole wide world. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100. Looks the same on a data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. I wasn't gonna say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? Yeah! No red carpet tonight, officers? Check out this fucking cavalcade of guys. Check out these guys, these fuckers. we got Mr. Old Man Turtleneck and oh shit, what do you call those jackets? Like a bomber jacket. That's what it. Like a pilot's jacket. I don't think bomber jacket's the right term. It's the closest that my brain can come up with. It's like a pilot's jacket. You know that those are some characters. Absolutely. We got eye patch, hoodie, jacket, dress shirt, no tie, holster on the jeans, cop lady. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around at these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am! Morgan, Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Kasim London. London! Hi, London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Detective Reyes and Detective London. Ball of sunshine. She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chat between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? A paper donk hit her on the head. She can't be more than a few years younger than me. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Thank you. It was quite a few in a short time. Anywho. We're the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. He never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not that timely. Uniforms respond to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? He's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances of the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation? Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well buy it at this point. So you suspect this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. Fair warning, yeah? That's the Heartbreak Killer in that room. The Heartbreak Killer? And we've got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. Their fucking faces. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer? Hey, cover utilities at the rock you live under. Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK? Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. That name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. Their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. Street corners, in the media, on the net. Everyone's indulging the same exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now, I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else? One bullet, straight through the heart. Body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catching this trumps originality. What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? Pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. Takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Sounds horrific, sounds robotic. It does sound robotic. Almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it is not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks. It wouldn't be that hard if it's point blank. They didn't mention it's point blank. They did... Without even needing to reload. Body left to lie where it falls. I think the implication from London here is already that it was from a distance and not point blank. Because of the awe in without needing to reload. You know? Anywho. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. But they don't commit murder. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. It's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to the news. I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago, when we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this Heartbreak killer, and tonight was just his latest crime. It's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. What a good effect. Oh, look at this. The fucking, it's red everywhere, but when it's over the sprite, it's inverted and it's blue. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files. And the ARCs, of course. Join the local net on your phone. We'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Reyes seems like a girl who barks. Does she bite? Maybe. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client stew in interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? We're at your disposal, counselor. Yay! Probably. Yeah. Thank you for understanding. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mote of personalization. Is she so new she hasn't had the time to unpack? Or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. Morgan's so cheeky, I love it. She really is. She also, has... Phoenix is a pathetic, snarky guy with his commentary, you know? Same with, a lot of the other, Danganronpa protagonists. Morgan has the class to pull it off cleanly, you know? She can go, fuck yourself. And it would be, completely fine, you know? She wouldn't, but she could if she needed to. Yeah, okay. You shouldn't have cleaned up so much for just little me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system. Or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily, alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. He doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Pathetic snarky, Takumi fits that description too? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Loose wires, missing panels, and an aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt-tightening and homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. As the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe the job is easy with our deer-doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. A dumping ground for the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Looking at them both. He's just a lazy sack of shit, and no one likes her. Oh, read. Datapad. Ladies and noble androids receive warm welcome. Bolstered and strong earnings report and surging sales of the Animate 16. Noble Android stock rose of 3%. Record high. The latest iteration has yet to surpass the sheer popularity of its predecessors, that increased profit margins left Noble shareholders very enthused. Many of us were skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced that the 16th line would be the first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components, so-called warm androids, which at the time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors, were looked down upon as impractical due to increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. Critics voiced concerns that French religious or traditionalist groups might find warm androids controversial. More business minds feared that Noble was also alienating the customers in the industrial and military sectors to cater to civilian consumers, users that viewed their androids from across the room and not from above the factory floor. However, as has often been the case in the last decade, Noble's doubters were proven wrong. The Animate 16 is poised to break profitability records with no signs of slowing down. Many industry analysts predict that these once rare organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life within the next 3 to 5 years. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16's line success and personable charm of their products, and all accounts can be attributed to the work of Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. I have seen posts about this guy. Anywho, lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said Noble brand ambassador Lucy Dees on their latest hashtag Noble Industry Week. It's because of his Turing solution that every Noble product, from the sleekest to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved. While his reputation was on full display at the event, Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. He's always been a reclusive, but he's become a genuine hermit in recent years. Are we really to believe he's still, hey fam, looks like you're not logged into this device. Want to put in your account info so we can help you keep reading? He's in the news again. It's no wonder he can't spit without it landing on a piece of Noble tech these days. Especially not where the state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, though. For government use, they're just too frail. Right? Because of the Like, it's not the expense part, it's the frailty. It's the increased increased maintenance costs from fixing them. So, too expensive. Too expensive to justify. Wait, what am I thinking? No state's ever had a problem with spending money on overpriced crap. Okay. Nothing else jumps out at me around here. Damn it! I did it wrong? No! Got a better idea of who I'm dealing with, at least. Now we need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding case KL433511. Reply C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I'm an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. C! Thank you. Link Yuxie. Alright, for a project from my phone. Unity logo. Arc's user profile. User portal, authenticating, downloading, initializing. Okay. Augmented reality crime scene. All right, let's see what the police have. Let's see what the police have and what they think is important. Inspect. Didn't look like the vase got tossed aside at some point. Yet there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. The murder weapon, a revolver, found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks at the crime scene, the techs practically disassembled the damn thing. But all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. Poker chips? Yeah. That's our credit. We're getting credit. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. The victim's body. Cause of death? Ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound to the heart, in brief. Death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood spatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. A stand-up mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard. Hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered. Hard enough to land on the victim's body. On the body! It shattered after they fell, I see! What a mess. That's all the big-ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. But no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. There's a lounge chair that got thrown, and whatever that is? Unidentified ceramic debris? Flag is irrelevant. That's their technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. It's everything the police highlighted. Did I miss anything? The hell is that? That's a good fucking question. I was gonna look at this clock, but what the hell is that? Something in the victim's hand? How the hell did... It's just a pill organizer. But it's the Tuesday of the pill organizer. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and Treprexisone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication. Taken daily reduces rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and it still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker is everything that's not here. Out of place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points toward anyone's except my client. Cryptoglobin rejection symptoms. I think it's like the phantom pain and generalized itch is like entire arm replacement rejection symptoms. Like it seems like mod rejection symptoms of, bionic arm. I've done more with less, more with less before, not much more. All right, leave the ark. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person that comes to mind is, because it could be something important. Brat? Brat? Who's Brat? Red! What couldn't wait until morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not the kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish! They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomachache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you've already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? Mugshot. Child, stop using your own mugshot as a reaction image. I want to punt the brat into the sun. Is that your I was joking! I wasn't not gonna get a copy of my mugshot. And use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. But I'm working right now, so... Anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Brat would not get away with this kind of talk if Morgan was a prosecutor. I don't know. I don't know. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing kids your age talk about? Teens my age, oh my god, fuck this kid. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder like Cardi B is like, quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job, lol? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You taking up lost cause probe nose work? Probe nose work. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concern nagging. Maybe you really are bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday, I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You've got school in like 3 hours. Shit! Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. Saturday school? I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. She thinks it's Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday because today is Saturday. It's 4 a.m., kid. Got school in 3 hours. You'd think she'd remember not going to school today or going to school today or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't parse it, honestly. Reyes, October 19th, 162, 63 kilograms, A negative, homicide, 3rd class. Likes rice, limes, and automotive history. Dislikes liars, small plates, cheap people. Honestly, so based. I also dislike small plates. Yummy, yummy, in my tummy, gimme, gimme. Enjoys watching product reviews, bad at games of chance. Right eye, Osiris Elite 86. Is that in reference to it being an eyeball? What do you mean you don't like small plates? Give me a bigger plate with food on it. I'm reading small plates as small portion sizes at restaurants, you know? Small plates are like absolutely something like that. Yeah. Or maybe like you go to a fancy place and they give you like, you know, oh, here's our $30 steak, and it's like an 8-ounce fillet, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm sure it tastes very good. I do need to like eat, right? You remember that like food is for eating and being full of the food. I'm sure the flavor and the experience is fantastic. You fill me up. That's what I pay you for. Brennan Lee Mulligan is fucking right when he says the best dishes are heavy. Anywho, I wonder if Reyes has an eyeball in her, an eyeball. Stuff Andromeda with food, I see. 1 William cheese. Soup isn't heavy? Well, it is if you put it in a brown paper bag. And there's enough of it. It gets soggy. London, May 5th, 186 centimeters, 78 kilograms, B positive. Very funny that his blood type is B positive when he's fucking like this. Cheesed. Fair. Food. So true. Homicide detective 1st class, photography, dive bars, and bangs. Like, the sound, the hair, or the activity? Was there a cheese storm? No, and there never shall be. Cheese storm has to be done manually. Depressed, I guess. Dislikes ties, pollen, after hours work messages. So true. Listens to podcasts, hobbies, pencil sketching, frequently running late. Heartbreak. Unknown. Criminal. Likes killing. Dislikes getting caught. Favorite color, probably red. Zodiac sign, probably not into astrology. Reward, suspended due to influx of false reports. I see. We got the noble androids. What? I need to see what they said. Impractical due to increased maintenance costs. Cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. That's not it. That's not them being frail. It's them being too expensive. I disagree with the interpretation of that. I think the fact that they called it maintenance costs, like, if it was impractical due to increased maintenance and then talked about cuts, scratches, and bruises, then that's fine. But having it be maintenance costs makes it seem like the cost is the thing. I disagree. I disagree. Anyways. Evidence. We got the vase. Shit. I keep on hitting escape. I need to hit... right click works. Good. Okay. Revolver, 10mm, well maintained but old, has flats, left hand fingerprint on it. Debris. Ceramic debris of indeterminate origin. Autopsy report. Ballistic trauma, yada yada yada. Same handiwork as previous 5. Lab message to confirm ballistics match 2, eh? Huh. Shit. Okay, so they did confirm that the ballistics of the gun match Heartbreak. So this is a Heartbreak murder. No. See, that's not cost cut. That's costs, cuts, scrapes, bruises. Like that dash was not a combination of cost cuts. It was cost cuts dash, and then some examples of increased maintenance costs due to injuries to the organic components, which would be cuts, scrapes, bruises. At least that's how I interpreted the message. Flash shards on top of the body. ARX data. Wait. Terms. IoT, Internet of Things. Data sharing goes on between countless electronics, phones, computers, security, provided feedback devices, body mods, prosthetics, automated dependents, all compromise small but vital parts of this network. Without IoT's ability to collect, process, and share massive information, massive opportunity costs build up as individuals, governments, and private businesses miss out on the valuable insight that data has to offer. One of the coolest ways that IoT improves our lives is through the usage of crumbs, small packets of data containing your own unique identifying information. Start your day as your own IoT devices say hi to other devices. They'll leave behind crumbs as a parting gift. Crumbs allow for paperless identification and payment and help the government manage human vehicular traffic. Cookies. But in the Internet of Things, they become crumbs. That makes sense. Crumbs let you see where you've been so you can see where you should go. Want to start leaving crumbs right away? Don't worry, crumbs are already enabled by default. Not entering the sponsored search results. See further with the premium account. ARX, augmented reality crime scene. ARX, investigative tool. Distribute a small number of tech corporations, frequently modified for personalized or local municipalities. They're used by most police forces, many law firms, and insurance investigators. Yeah. ARX data was regulated by corrupt officials to erase state secrets. These reports were later found to be fake, and UMC was exposed as a subsidiary of a Cell corporation within Lambda Work Solutions, who were marketing a number of alternative to ARX technology at the time. Board members at Lambda announced the actions of said Cell and offered assistance to their former competitors in suing leadership at UMC, but the proceedings and settlements in those lawsuits remain sealed. Strange. Anyways, it's Morgan time. I need store credit. Okay, I have regular credit, but I don't have store credit. Right. Okay. Anyways, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. Androids and cops? By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd at least be a few androids around. Are many androids in any police station this week? Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contract with Noble? Yes. Hardly. They're the biggest. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp there is. Spend all day in the center city without leaving their offices shadows. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping at least. But these talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids. Warm. Yeah. Might as well call it the adult line. I'd see them in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Yet? Really? Yet? You really think that'll happen? You already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds. Doesn't seem like that big of a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives? With all the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk to us? With your warm personality, I can't imagine. Cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions, you're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal in a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're gonna start posting shit that'll get you put on a list. Well, we certainly don't want that. But flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites. They already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The union would. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She didn't even have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. Yeah! Boy howdy, it's a dystopia. It sure is cyberpunk. The last remaining union is a bunch of cops. Damn. Alright, heartbreak. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. Heartbreak killer. Less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you're gonna spout some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy. No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along, good point. London's trying to look like he can laugh it off. But pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. Morgan, why are you so creepy? Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. Standard operating practices. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why's that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. Optics. Opt-in crime surveillance system, eh? Yeah, agreed. How's that even possible? I know that there's some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, man, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that there are occasional, localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They'd have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times and locations where Optics would be down. Funny that it's called opt-in when it's seemingly universal close to it. Yeah. I mean, we can check the terms. Partnership program between state and private enterprises allowed for the free sharing of surveillance and security data, accessible to the state employee logins or private partner accounts. Optics' smart UI allows users to search through and collate footage from a city of tens of millions in just a few simple keystrokes. Frequently cited in state reports as one of the most effective tools for reducing crime, and footage from Optics often serves as key evidence in criminal proceedings where it is considered admissible by default. People versus Erewhon. Damn. The fact that there is a case means, damn. Yeah, no. Users also frequently search for public safety measures in my area, daily security level. And HK. Hey there! It looks like you're trying to search for a term related to an ongoing investigation. Until authorities have made their findings public, results may be heavily curated or temporarily unavailable. Thanks, Google. Fuckers. Even with the devil's own luck, can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed? Yeah. There's a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. But what about DNA from other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scene. No footage and no forensics? Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. Been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. An hour-long blackout isn't that short. Yeah, but it's short on the if there's someone going around during those blackouts killing people, you know? Like, I feel like at that point, do the blackouts And then have cops be around in the areas where the blackouts are happening. Localize them much smaller and have a police presence in place. It'll prevent more murders. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we ever caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. Was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If you jostle that keystone, the rest of the case should start to come loose as well. The details. How about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? The client, Carlos Baker Flatt, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already, I really do think he's a serial killer. Morgan is understanding that the serial killers do get the middle name treatment. Lee Harvey Oswald. High-profile assassins and criminals get their middle names to help differentiate them from the other Lee Oswalds that so happen to be there. The charge being first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree? That's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. He's got damn near more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try to get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. What's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nut jobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? About the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So the serial killer chose his victims at random? If they have nothing in common, yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than that they all look like cousins. What? The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. Damn. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. Really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from a portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think what exactly? That Carlos Flatt wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits... then you put the shoe on the... What she means is... Poor Reyes. The music stopping's really good too, you're right. You put the shoe on What sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to display their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. Not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there'd have been sign of hesitation, nerves. There'd have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal. Execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. And why would we be asking you that close to your chest with the creepy effect happening, Morgan? Do you have something to share with the class? Anyways, timeline. I saw the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we've managed thanks to less biased sources. Smells like trauma. Smells like something. I know what I'm smelling, because I know things. But I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it ride. And we're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. But they interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another, starting at around 8 p.m. Oh, her eye! The eyeball! The eye! She does have an eyeball. Hi, Iva. Morgan running up to Reyes, like getting right up in her face, grabbing her shoulders. Iva! Hi! Hi, Iva! Hi! That's me. That's me right now. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered, but things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. But we heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right, emergency services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. Don't seem to recognize the sound for what it was. But the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 p.m., establish a perimeter, enter through the open front door at 9:10 p.m., and then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point, they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand singular? Your client's modded. Cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with the HOW 85 Habilis. Industrial grade, it looks like. Says he's spec for dexterous manipulation of up to Class 4 KPA, which means a minimum grip strength of... Basically, he could crush your neck without gritting his teeth. Thanks, Reyes. Considering a career change? No, it's not that. It's just... Your arm must have been very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover a predominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? But getting back on track. That arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. Can't work without it. Money's got tight. The arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance to be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprint on the revolver. And no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54. 6-chambered, 10mm. Am I stupid for thinking a 10mm round is kind of small for a revolver? Like 9mm are Glocks, right? And they're fine bullets. 10mm, a little bit bigger. I feel like revolver handgun ammo is usually even bigger than that. But let's do some Google searching. Revolver ammo caliber. Revolver calibers include, well, caliber isn't millimeter, so fuck. Revolver caliber versus millimeter. Explain like I'm 5. Hi, Reddit. Caliber versus the size of the bullet. A 9mm pistol shoots bullets of diameter 9mm. The 50 cal is a way of saying 50-inch caliber. So in other words, 50 caliber bullets shoot a diameter of 0.5 inches or 12.7 millimeters. Okay. So a 9mm barrel diameter would be about a 354 caliber. That's so the 357 Magnum. So yeah, okay, that's about the same actually. Never mind. I am stupid. Haha. Hee hee. In short, guns are awesome. Caliber. How retro. Is caliber the length of the barrel? Caliber is the like percentage. It's the decimal of an inch that the bullet is. So a 357 would be 0.357 inches. In diameter, which would be about the about 9mm, or I think, or about 9mm, I think. A 50 caliber would be is a half an inch in diameter. That's why those rounds are fucking huge. Anywho. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags? How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah. 1/7 location data, timestamp, trigger pulls, safeties coded to owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? What else do you think he'd have gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the very first psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Sounds like an effective form of gun control. For individuals and, like, user biometrics, like at a certain point, if you are not like, if you're gonna kill someone, then either you think you can get away with it or you don't care. And if you don't care, then the tags mean nothing, like the tags won't stop you from shooting. So, we'll be able to tell that the guy that shot up everyone was that guy. Didn't stop him from doing it. But they did mention psych checks, so, Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that old are marked by the barrel's shape. So if all 6 bullets have the same rifling marks, we know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber. Without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. An untagged gun, just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 of the crime scenes is just... To summarize then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend, and then he retrieved his weapon and shot her? Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Always keep an eye out. Guilty. How was his effect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. Your action may have lost him points with the cops, but beyond that, he'll react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets a conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. You what? Well. Fuck. That's, unexpected. I'm sorry, you're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. You have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother if the note's covered in his fingerprints? There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you. Doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of that to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. Wanted to hurt you too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that. No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer, and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counsel, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual. That's for your safety as well. Kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind. Mike's on or off as your call counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs? The cuff, that is, stays on. Not worried about me. How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinding. Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I'd suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty's not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, it's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with their due sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards a heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. 3:35 a.m. I see. Well, great. All right. This guy. Let's get a voice going. I've been flip-flopping on the voices for Reyes. London's easy. He's down here. He's Londoning it up. He's Spike Spiegel. I love the type of woman who can kick my ass. Morgan is just a little bit high-pitched to me. I'm trying to hit that rainbow dash for Reyes, but it's not coming together as much as I'd like it to. But this guy. My girlfriend's dead. Someone shot her in the heart, and it wasn't me. It's depressing as hell in here. I need to liven this place up. Enter Morgan! It's Morgan time! Carlos Flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night. What are you... Look, I already told you people, I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. You're a lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here, kept repeating it the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. And they said that I killed... Acting like they were on my side. That they thought I could have... That I... It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. Still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So, what do you want to know? About you. Let's start simple, something mundane, grounded, rote. I'd like to know a bit about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with City Engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I need more than that. So what do I know? Works in City Engineering, not a desk job. Reyes said he was modded for work in that arm. He's being custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it had to have been pretty... utilitarian. Was it lifelike? I don't think it was life... It doesn't necessarily need to be lifelike for it to be... Like, modded for work suggests utilitarian. Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich swapping in neon chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. You know, just one more thing. The wife... He had everything planned out, a whole career path of promotions and bonuses, and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed that like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah. I think it does. I always figured if I'd start at all, I'd start small. A hand or an eye, test the water. Never thought about lopping my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, "'Cause the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources." Of course, I got shit canned. And now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The New Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I worked the tighter spaces, even high-volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know. He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. But the right word choices here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy? You must be... under a lot of pressure. Ah, because I unlocked the information about the sites, the increased scrutiny on the canopy. Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight. This crap with Long? Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job on the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that Internal Affairs is going to come knocking if they misplaced so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. And do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way that you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So these cuts on his face are just from shaving. Never thought this would go on for so long I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Where'd you turn it in? It's a mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! God, I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive-ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I got to work 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime? I serve at the pleasure of the state. They've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white-knuckle tight. Hindi? Yeah, How Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models. I took one step on site with uninsured tech. Forget the fines, I'd lose the down payment and my arm. And I'd never work in the city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Arm shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a deadweight 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit! Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible. Technically, I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend, the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead. So were you wearing it when you were arrested? Don't pull out the shock, man! Were you wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... And it gotten too far. But Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. And the victim's blood on his left arm only because at the time, and in the question, he didn't even have a right. No one consistencies in the story so far, and he's open about as well as can be expected. But this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. That's pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics. Focused her studies on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gate. Practically headhunted, do you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... real ass job. Paid real ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. But these years had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No, Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. And to narrow it down, the Harvest Corporation grows 1/3 of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. And no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco's about as tame as big business can get. Predictable like the seasons, no one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Has she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. Never mentioned arguments or disputes, corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. There's a long shot hoping for disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. Oh, with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. All right, Miss, Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We've been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. More than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money! The reports say we were arguing around 8 p.m.? 8? Yeah, it must have been when we started. We got into it, and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line, and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah. Walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid. Thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off. I didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even... Or behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves. Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? Have a paper ball drop on his head. That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details straight. My head is... But if my exact route would help, the cams probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed? Meaning you've got no alibi. This can't... Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't... Carlos. He's technically disabled, that's true. The fucking Franziska von Karma. Carlos. I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now, you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud, and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point, I must have started running, because when I got back, I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest, and my lungs wouldn't... You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment, street-facing entrance. We were part of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway, I saw her, but I didn't realize... I never thought that she was... The lights were off, the whole room was a mess. I thought we'd been robbed or she'd fallen, or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. The blood was warm. And I saw... the gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been so easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. And none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date on the details of all your evidence by checking your phone. If your clients notice that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. And I need my credit. It's the only thing I need. You did touch the gun, Carlos. It's just a fact, and we know because it's registered to you. You were found with it. It's your prints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? It explains how his prints got on the gun. But not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun. So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What? Physical? We never fought like that! Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. But the mirror proves that didn't happen. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered, so... Right. It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes, you just say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was. Well, the mirror was upright, of course. And that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, the bed got tossed, the cushions torn. And the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? The shock, the gavel bang on this shitty drawing that Morgan made on her phone with her finger. What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. Her eyes are sparkling. She was so proud of this. It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, suppose that works too. Fine, you don't appreciate my... Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, saying things I don't mean to. This morning I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them? I broke her fidget tubbies. Oh no. Poor Morgan, so true. For what? For what? Her fidget tubbies. Poor Carlos, look at these sad, wet thingies. They're these collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be, like, tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they mean a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Got so angry I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless, weighty dragon raid! Hi, Weighty. We're playing Of the Devil. How was it was Pal World, yeah? How was it? Did you enjoy the pals and the world and the gaming of it all? I hope you did. If you're not familiar, I'm Andromeda Zach. I'm a 3D VTuber. We play a lot of visual novels around here. This being one of them. This is Of the Devil, a phenomenal, fun little Toxic Yuri Ace Attorney game. You made a shotgun. Holy shit! Awesome. But yeah, I hope your stream went well. Take some time to rest, recuperate if you so desire, so need. And we shall be continuing with Of the Devil. Okay, let's say he did break our frigid duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. Not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. If the police insists on claiming its confession for the Heartbreak killings anyway, couldn't even bother to sweep him up. I felt so... Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. I'm gonna call the police back in here. I'm gonna get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh. Okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everybody's on edge, a guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right? The police have kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that's just... doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow in the uptake, it's going to be real shock when this officer walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory. Quickly and definitively as possible. Alright, 4:04 a.m. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee. The fine coming up saying she's paying $2,900 or credits for it. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right. Sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up! I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh? And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near... I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh. Well, then, no to that, too. Actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker, and the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there, and we're down here. That's why they're the house. I like that it's still, like, she's... the fact that we're cutting to the overhead each time does make it sound like she's doing a voice when she's doing it. She's going, that's why they're the house. That sound effect just plays when you call the state the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up, and eventually, someone will come over, tap the dealer on the shoulder, and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. It doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. Our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know, there's a saying about gamblers with strategies. Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. The district attorney's the final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials. They all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, I didn't have to call them back, because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time kind of thing. I'm very Shears when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the fact. Well, it's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. What about a woman's innocence? That implies a woman could ever be guilty, Vanilla. No one would ever dare charge a woman with a crime. Because, if you will read the below description, we support women's wrongs. Oh, double. Fuck, I forgot about the gay community. Well, you see. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. If a woman can be wrong, she can commit crime. It's only crime if you don't like the wrong, but we support the wrong, so it's okay. To say a woman cannot be wrong would be to hold them to the same standards as man, which is sexist. I'm done with the joke. I don't want to get canceled. They still have paint by numbers in 2084. I mean, they're still babies, aren't there? Maybe it's tap by numbers now. But, you know. As long as they still have lullabies. Anyways. See, we found a note at his apartment. With his... I've been cheesed. With his fingerprints on it. Apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. How are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night. Now I've got the weapons to answer everything they try to throw at me. Anything they try to throw at me. Well... My client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for analyzing the facts and review the responses in your hand. Select the card that best answers the argument and place it in the slot on the right. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder of what key point you're answering. He wrote a confession. It was the gun. No, it was the ceramic debris. And we slot it over here, and... He was simply apologizing for this. What the hell is that? I found myself, win my first hand, beginner's luck. And I got credit, it's awesome. All right, cool. I found myself asking that exact same question. What are we looking at here? Coming from the crime scene? This diagram of the room is created from data you captured, right? Your non-GMO ARCS data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Ha ha! Zing! Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to come from the vase, because that vase is still pristine. How is that possible? Even Carlos is like, the vase survived? The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it! The one time I'm gonna try and thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? The vase doesn't have a scratch on it. And the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble is all that reminds of the victim's collection of Fidget Tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note. And we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the art clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really didn't claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Mirror shards, the rental arm, a dusty fidget tubby slayer in police custody. He broke during the shooting. Tiffany Yieldy in police custody. Expresses a lot of guilt. Ugh. I think the rental... No. In shaky handwriting, he's right-handed, so he couldn't have written the note when he didn't have his arm on, right? Which one are we doing? This one? This one. You just need to look at the confession. Seen it already? Read it front to back. Not one mention of fidget tubbies. I lost credit, no! Can't bluff my way through this part. To show exactly how those fidgety cubbies got turned to dust in order to move forward. Okay, so it is the arm. Just take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. You happen to spot a footnote on the lab report. Said the rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? Gotten pretty late, Sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service! Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? Oh no, Reyes. You understand the value of the fidget tubby? Could it be that perhaps, mayhaps, perchance, are you actually a huge fucking nerd? It's actually not in question, actually, because we already know that you're a stiff, corrupt cop. Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct, they held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is right-handed. Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Cops. Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? The reason why that note looks like an asylum wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. That's weird. Yeah. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. Just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account alongside the ceramics. Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun. That just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is. But you're gonna claim it's not his, that actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. As Zarian's vote, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible while you wait for a more favorable chance. I see. Must have something, no sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, Detective? I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? He doesn't wear an extra small. I can't raise yet. I have to just stay. Justice. It's the Justice blind. It's the Justice is blind. It's the blind. It's poker. Yeah. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah, sure. There's no evil Yeah, sure. There's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention. There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. Going there now without hard evidence? I can't prove a third party yet, I don't think. I don't have enough evidence or information. I have no evidence of a third party at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the Arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious you had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, Detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey. But not illegal either. And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. You have those clothes on hand, by the way? Lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. In here, I thought the room smelled like... Oregon! What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. Pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. I fucking love Morgan. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was that it reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh from the lab. What's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey! Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who he knew died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old war pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. Smell with your nose. That's why they had London thinking about what it smelled like in here, is because you cannot smell the gunpowder. I have the evidence, I think, of the jacket. Coat was taken into custody. Blood for the left sleeve matches the victim. No other details of any forensic significance found. That's prosthetic. Flat's rental. Currently police custody. Flat statement. It looked normal. The revolver. Rifling match the previous Heartbreak killings. No matches to any other archive forensic data as far back as 2051. The victim, poor girl, dead as hell. No known connection. Man, there's a lot of terms we gotta check through. I think we'll save the terms for later. But Flat, we got his profile now. B negative, canopy engineer, likes airports, worn shoes, firm beds, dislikes cabs, musicals, and cashews. Likes poppies, his student debt is sizable, and his luck is 4. Poor bastard. Alright. I think the smelling with your nose means you cannot smell gunpowder, right? Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of... cigarette! That's what I've been smelling! Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket. If you would. Let's see. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? I don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring, and when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. Got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces, but a revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they'd found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever! That just means he washed off after shooting her or he changed his clothes. Not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing. As soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Click. Did she just get a message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks? But your luck just ran out. Because the next scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? Gamble! A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She got something from the scrubbers. She must have something, it's true. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure there was. But this isn't from optics. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this! Well... Okay, the quality is lacking. And yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in the whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? Now, with the scale of their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means that stakes are... Well, it's a little bit... blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone. Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. And so he managed to get the shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image, and there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right, we couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving the police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know who had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established he's weak with his left side. The left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. What the fuck? All of which to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, then that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words. Ever. No. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly? Positional data is usually accurate to the nearest public router. If we DN on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that it's taken from across the north window. Crime scene map. From the north. This is from the north, and why can we clearly see the clock? It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I should seize the opportunity to start turning the tide. You're wrong! The photo was taken from the west! I'm afraid that's simply not possible, detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is this? Is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARC data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And you can now raise the ante on a hand up to the current max. Answer wrong and you lose more credit, but answer correctly, you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. This photo must be taken through the west window. As long as you consider the mirror. The max. The mirror was upright and the clock was on the wall. Just take one look at the clock in that photo. Maximum credit. 23, awesome. The clock? What about it? Clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. No, it's not wrong. He's wrong, the time of death is correct. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer's no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree. The time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistake in that. So then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo. Analog style. And it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. There's the western wall. Right. So the clock wasn't reversed or flipped or anything. It was just the killer was in the mirror. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because Discovery Law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slipped my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Shards fell onto the victim. Max, 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 maximum ante. Less shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body and not under it. The glass fell on top of the victim's body. That would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the crime scenes? At the other crime scenes? The other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Ah! Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't! The glass shards prove the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible! The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very, very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You've played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation, you're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is the mirror. Oh, raise the stakes, baby! What is that? You trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window. But then, that would mean that angle from that viewpoint. It would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered, because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. Fucking got them! Got their asses! That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk Cost has got his teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. Is it cold sweat, hot palms, kind of fever? The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. You bastard. You motherfucker. And allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, the denouement! I love a good denouement. My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting, and instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it to a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And you'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well... Any objections? Detective. God damn it! Oh, let's go! Dang, she's good. So true. That was badass. You love seeing competent women. It's fascinating seeing, like, okay, so Ace Attorney, right? You get Phoenix. He shows up. Case 1, he's a rookie. He's under Mia. He's, practicing. He's like getting his bearings. He works his way up to being this skilled as a lawyer. Here, we're aware that Morgan is a really, really good lawyer. Right off the bat. Before we even enter a courtroom, she's already hitting this shit. With like 30 minutes of interrogation. And like bare bones evidence. It's really good. Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Yeah! Prove your client's innocence in the Heartbreak Killings! Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. But doesn't this mean the clock actually showed 3 o'clock? Actually, no. Because this is the clock, this is the mirror. The mirror itself, the light from the thing is just hitting the mirror. They recovered from an unknown citizen's phone camera at the time of the shooting. Because the camera was not set to photo mode at the time, the amount and quality of visual data was severely limited. Fellow markers for post-capture multi-spectrum image indicate that the photo has been cleaned up as best as possible. It wasn't 3 o'clock in the mirror. It was not. This is correct. This is 9. Do you remember how to read analog clocks, Vanilla? This is 9 o'clock on the dot. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But like this is the clock and this is the mirror. Clock here, mirror here, light from the hallway hits mirror. Very tired. It happens. Many such cases. 34 credit. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger. She just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure. Feel exactly the same, counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats, you get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into Heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin, and then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what I... Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. Can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, to try and convince him that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Women's wrongs. Women's wrongs. Women's wrongs. Yeah! Blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find. Hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. June 8:59 p.m., June 4th, 2086. We're just doing it. Bullet number 6 is 6. Gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Heartbreak has been updated in the profiles, I wonder. Criminal defense attorney, high places gambling guns, dislikes nosy people, mud headphones, hobby batting cages, favorite dish mapu tofu. Ah! Poke! Poke, hi! Hi, Poke, how was your stream? Ponkleo raid, so true! Hi everyone, hi gamers. We're playing Of the Devil, and we just got to the big twist of episode 0. Long time no see. It's been a while. It's true. I've been seeing that you've been getting back into streaming though, and I've been happy to lurk. Been good to see ya. We're gonna stick around. So I'm so tired. Gonna raid and lurk. No worries. Rest, recover, do all you need to do. Good to see you. Welcome in. For all you raiders, welcome in. I'm Andromeda Zach. I am a 3D VTuber. I play a lot of mystery novels and visual novels. Biggest hearts for supporting women's wrongs. Her wrongs are so wrong. She just killed someone. Murder just happened. You waited at the perfect time. Maybe not. Basically the perfect time. We just were like, oh, buddy, we didn't need to convince the lawyer that you were innocent of this murder. I already knew you were innocent. After all, I did it, bitch! But yeah, I play a lot of mystery novels, visual games I'm playing through right now. The games on the docket are Pokemon Legends ZA, which is not one of those things that I just listed, 100 Line, Last Defense Academy, and Of the Devil. It's fantastic. I love it. All right. But yeah, take a break, take a rest, do what you need to do. And if you're new here, hi, welcome in. Ow! What the fuck? Hey! Taze, what are you doing? Taze, what the shit? You're doubling up on my raids! I've been double raided! Ooh, how dare you! Hi, Taze! I hope Arknights went well. I had to leave because I had to start streaming. You're all here just in time for all of the, Ace Attorney shit to be over, and we're just going into this girl kills people. She's a murderer. Ugh. Welcome in, Raiders. If you don't know, I'm Andromeda Zach. I just did my intro 5 seconds ago, so now I got to do it again. I hope you enjoyed Arknights. I hope you take a good rest and relaxation. A girl with hobbies, so true. I'm glad you understand. I'm glad, Taze, you too can excuse women's wrongs. Okay. I'm frazzled. I'm frazzled right now. Anywho, cannot carry a tune. Very funny that Heartbreak is still different from Morgan, though. This is Morgan. She can fall asleep in any position. She likes whiskey sours. This is Heartbreak. You can see the difference is the pupils, right? You can see the pupils are her fully open eyes, and these ones are dead inside, because she's dead inside. Whatever! Finding the ammo is almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Now don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark here. Must have only been able to see my silhouette. I like that she went through all the investigative procedures of formality. Yeah, she knew everything that happened. Except for the fact that a picture was taken of her. Did she think I was her boyfriend, back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey, you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use even as a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? These fucking broke-ass bitches. I had to shoot her bra. I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped place is usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean, organized even. That's so real. So the corpse has a certain satisfying contrast. Except. There's shit on the floor. By the window, they're broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. Just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration, try to savor the shredding. It can't be clean. I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it'll be consistent. She's so normal. This is all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Oh no. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the Heartbreak Killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no. That's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... So I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them, and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. Air's weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. Walk, fashion, baby. All right, and then the next morning. Sorry, using my left is still. That's okay, you can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city sprawling public transportation, got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. What a line. Yeah, no. This is pretty fucking good. Oh, boy. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? Yeah. I did notice that the, It absolutely was phrased as criminal defense attorney, wasn't it? Criminal defense attorney? A defense attorney for criminals? That's all defense attorneys. A criminal defense attorney is a defense attorney that commits crime. It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There'd be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Aren't there other non-criminal defense attorneys? No. There are non-criminal attorneys and lawyers for civil cases, but once you get to, if you're defending someone, if you're a defender, then that's criminal cases. At least in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. You can get representatives, you can get a legal team. Defense is pretty strictly for criminal court and against the public prosecutor's office. At least that's my understanding of the law, which is admittedly only from osmosis of media, so I could be wrong. I don't know. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now, Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved in a case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have been even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. Oh, oh, oh. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house? That's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diana's grateful too. Yep, I'm sure she is grateful that you didn't get convicted of a crime someone else committed, surely. Funny. I didn't even know her name. What a prick. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. But when she died... Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. She must have died hating me. Present evidence? What evidence do I have to do so? Evidence of tampering. Crime scene map, nothing. Ooh, there's no indication that she was modified, right? So she was holding the pill organizer in her hand. And that's why that was a lock, is because this was an optional piece of evidence that I could have gotten during the crime scene investigation. Aha! Clever, clever, clever. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the ARCS data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. Well, maybe you can make sense of it. The pills! Meds for a martyr, non-lethal doses present. What is... Where did you find that? That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCS, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone. Rory! What are you doing, Rory? Rory! Stop taking advantage of my discounts and gifting people subs! How dare you! Welcome in. Thank you for the gift subs, Rory. Ah! Bat noises. I can't believe this. I can't believe... Ah! Hi, Big Shinks. Everyone say hi, Big Shinks. He's just so happy to be here with the Heartbreak Killer and some innocent guy. The evil, dangerous, and despised Heartbreak Killer and Carlos Flat. All right. Congratulations. 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 Seems like it contains triprexazone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. Congratulations. So true. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did. Feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. My eyes, anyway. Show Carlos what the victim was found holding. You're a good boy. She wasn't mad at you, man. She's mad at me for killing her. Anyways. 5:01 a.m. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings and I'll ever see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. Why did I even bother? It's to keep up the act, Morgan. It's all to keep up the act of the concerned lawyer, the good guy. And what was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose? Oh, yeah, no, it's also the OCD. I forgot about that. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. So there won't be a next time for heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to the next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will found you. District Attorney Rockford. Oh, God. What a threatening aura. Ma'am. DA Rockford? Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Shinx. She scared me, oh wow. Yeah. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. Must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. Hello. Hi. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know. Because I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well. Actually, I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. That's my case. Shing, shine. Alvino must have been relieved finding out you don't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? Always the unintended barbs with her. Hype train success. Get more hype, guys. We get a hype train. What the hype chest is. Button mash. Awesome. Awesome. I love button mashing. I love mashing. Yeah, no. Damn indeed. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl. Reyes. They've been here reporting to me in preparation for the trial. Preparation for the trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So, Reyes told you they had the HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh? Girl. I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer. The same serial killer that outsmarted the state for weeks. Not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon. Oh, because she knows it wasn't him. But I can answer that any number of ways. But there wasn't any gunpowder in his coat. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about, his dominant arm modded, with documented sensitivity issues, never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints. Got all that from a glance? Ugh. But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here. Of course! Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, You're right, sorry, you've probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of criminal psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 who was caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. About profiling. So this profiling, some kind of investigative technique? Theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust, they probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, poor criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. How much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent. Almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. Almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in that metaphor, I'd be the... Know what I mean? Indefinitely! And considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. But does that mean Heartbreak's in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job in a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK's not a cop, how did they know about the blackout timing? Crime metastatistics analysis. Probably. Pardon. Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips and... Sorry, technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. And the MO? Well, at least its Heartbreak Maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Now, Morgan, you wouldn't happen to know anyone tertially related to law enforcement who inserts herself into scenarios who happens to have a psychosexual obsession with me, would you? Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. You got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake. Exactly, a mistake! They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you've said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet. Their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, you must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who thinks you have no persistent MO or victim type? Who you think has no persistent MO or victim type? In a city with an 8-digit population? 8-digit population. 6 digits, 100,000. 7 digits, 10 million? In the tens of millions? Jesus Christ! Well, good luck! I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with some more resources. No, Morgan. I mean I need more crime scenes. Oh. That truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Ugh. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder? You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first onto the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Episode 0 end. Ow! Ow! My God! Okay, if that's the end, I should take this opportunity to... I don't have my phone. Damn it. ... Hi! Which means you're going to be leaving with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry. I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. A blatant pout. This friend of yours, they are trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun. Really? Really? Educational, too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. Okay, now I have my phone again. Yay, all right. Virtual work release. Hey there! Due to ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Gallet, search results for this term are temporarily blocked. I see. Work release sucks. Profiling. Trying to get your dating profile just right can be a full-time job. Let Valentine take the reign with our automated, secure, and confidential tools that put your better than best foot forward and put the sexy back into finding the right match. Don't see sponsored search results. Get a premium account. God damn it. Phantoms. Phantom pain. When stimuli stops coming from a part of the body that's no longer there, the areas in the nervous system that were previously devoted to processing those sensations reconfigure themselves to still be of use. Sometimes it's phantom pain. Because of the large mental element at play, therapy is necessarily involves psychological conditioning and often the use of prosthetics. Phantom pain has become more widely experienced and understood as a result of the spread of the body modification movement. Debate over whether the mod scene has increased or decreased public empathy for amputees and the disabled remains contentious. Did you mean phantom visions? They're caused by faulty installation on cybernetic eye mods, resulting in periodic electrical discharge across the retina. Schedule a consultation immediately if you suspect this applies to you. Users also frequently search for, my mod hurts, mod or itching. Is my arm haunted? It's funny that you don't have an actual appendix or glossary, but essentially have to do an internet search. Yeah. Like, and I think it's so fascinating that Morgan is very dedicated to privacy and staying offline, but is still using Google instead of like Wikipedia, you know? Like, I know this is a cyberpunk dystopian future, but like, we do have a court record. It's the evidence list. But like, if it's just a term, just a phrase to make sure that we're up to date on it, just Google it. But we have ad blocker Google enabled with not the paid subscription because fuck you. Net scrubbing, scouring all available data posted on the net within a certain time frame for a crime. Occasionally, PR firms use it. While the brute force work is performed by ads, either digital or physical, experienced human supervisors must establish strict search constraints in order to produce usable results. Interest in the practice spiked when Senator Bancroft positioned it as a key pillar of his party's law and order platform, but pollings indicated voters rarely held a strong opinion on the process, and the topic has since faded from political discourse. Mods, body modification, cybernetic prosthetics, artificial implants, neural enhancement, or any combination. Body mod has been seen throughout history. Body modification movement is differentiated by a shift from intrinsic factors, expression or identity, to extrinsic motivators, job opportunities, technological benefits, improvements in physical or mental ability. Historically, mods have been classified based on which section of the user's spinal cord the interfacing occurs at, thoracic, lumbar, or cervical. This system does not account for mods that interact directly with the human brain. Above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizations proposing their own new classification systems, but so far none have gained traction. Can you return mods? Can you undo mod surgery? Best reviewed neural implants 2086. Get the fucking like PC Gamer like reviews. We reviewed 10 of the best mods, and it's just like some one guy who's like fucked up beyond belief. Mod therapy, depending on viability, medications, even minor viral tuning might be employed to modify the body's immune response. Recent improvements in recent years in medically sterile alloys have greatly reduced the percentage of patients that need viral therapy. Okay. Hindi, how industries, how indie, how Hindi. And we're hiring. Not interested in sponsored shows results. Yeah. Digital autopsy, law enforcement's locating, bypassing authentication. Commonly used to seek out possible connections to suspects or the victims. Widely utilized practice has been scrutinized in the past for some privacy advocates, but many victims and families who lack the ability to find, let alone access all their deceased loved ones' accounts, argue it for its necessity. Comparable processes are offered as a paid service by some legal or funerary groups to help next of kin recover or delete sensitive personal data. At times, these services have been marketed as a defense against data criminals attempting to steal the identities of the dead before their accounts are wiped by the state processes. Grave cobbling, how to stop stolen identity, how to delete dead profile. Calver, manufacturer of civilian firearms from 2031 to 2062. When it was bought out by Thortec, the acquisition specializing in security and national defense, subsidiary of the Lockcon Defense Corporation. Though no guns have borne the Calver branding since production halted in 2060, the once iconic brand was briefly revived in 2071 in Q2 with a series of video game memorabilia tie-in promotions meant to increase the in-game item sales before being discontinued in 2071 quarter 3 for failing to increase in-game item sales. Damn. Gamble. A gambler with a system must be to a lesser or greater extent insane. Yeah, no, that's just fucking true. I've got a winning strategy for gambling, idiot. All right. And profiles. We got Rockford. Hi, Emma. O positive. Not a universal donator, because she can't donate to anyone with a negative blood type. So, interestingly, Morgan is a near universal recipient and Emma is a near universal donor, but they are themselves incompatible. I have seen this take on Twitter, and I've seen it on Tumblr before, so I know that someone else knew what they were talking about when they wrote that. ADA, coffee, toffee, hates haute couture, dislikes sunburn, dead pixels, and eye strain. Eggs Benedict plays chess shogi, idol savant stars, cat person, yes. All right. Anyways, Morgan. Credits. Art and direction by Evil Little Bug. Programming by Patrick MCF. 3D modeling by AA Renders. Backgrounds are an area of 3D that I don't do very well because I'm not a good interior designer. I don't know things. I can't place things. That's why I'm in the void of space instead of a room. It'd be very interesting to get a room, but it's just not me. At the moment, things could change. Environments by Patrick, AA Renders. Written, directed, developed by Brian Mulholland. Hi, Brian. Volunteer playtesting by Gristin, QJ, Maxi, Sadie Virtuous Varmint, S. Thumbbutt, Thomas Colamander, Wee, Xenons. Special thanks to Adrienne at Alterlinks, Anna, Kill Jill VT, Mado, Man Monks. Special thanks to Dev Talk, Philly Game Mechanics, and our friends and family. You, the player, and players like you. Full attributions available at ofthedevil.card.co. Made with Unity, Nanny Novel, Dio Tween, Pro Builder, Shapes, game by Nth Circle, Of the Devil Episode 0, and He Shall Appear. That's the title of the episode, I forgot. To be continued in... You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life, and after, too. Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. That's not just a lawyer job thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too. Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's a million times more likely than the alternative. That Heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Of the Devil, Episode 1. An Idle Mind. Good stuff. Shit. Episode 0 results is this seems like this could be Morgan's office. Morgan would have some noir ass shit like this. All right, here we go. 2 articles out of 2, great. 6 out of 6 profiles, 18 out of 18 key terms, 17 pieces of evidence, 34 total credit earned. Congratulations! You finished episode 0 with 34 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. Also a total of 34 remaining store credit to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credit with which you finished this episode. Delicious. I would love to go to the store and buy the Morgan Time charm. Yeah! Yeah, when I go over it with my mouse, it goes. That's awesome. It's straight up Morgan Time. The rose gold phone case is 20 credit. Damn. Okay, but, shit, Ray as Angie's pretty fucking good. Teal's probably the closest I can get to blue. Or I could get the rose gold for the yellow. Or get the red for the thematic for Morgan. Let me see what the teal looks like. That's blue enough. That'll do. If you do it again, can you get more credit? No. It's based on the highest amount of credit you could get for the episode. So in order to get more credit, I would need to do another episode or do better at this one, which is going to be hard. Anyways, I'm going to get Rhea Zangi. That's really funny for Morgan to do it, like... Like, oh, are you angry? Are you angry, Reyes? Well, don't worry. I have a charm that indicates how angry you are. All right. That's as much as I can spend. I wanted to check out the red just to see how it would look. All right. She's so angry back there. It's great. All right. All right. Should check the concept gallery. How does that hair work? Thank you for the information about how that hair do work. You can zoom with that. I can camera with the mouse. More Morgan claw clip. There she is. Damn. There's some... I very much like this concept art. The art style that they went for, where it's a little bit more curved, it's a little bit more out there, is good. It works for the stylization of the entire game. Yeah, it's giving pretty gender. And here he is again. Yeah. Man, what a guy. What a guy. Reyes. Shit. Fuck, she could have been blue. This is the green makes sense for frequently, like A, it's giving gumshoe, it's giving complementary to Morgan's red. But short hair blue though. I love short hair blue. Thank you for giving my jacket back. It's so, thank you for it. It's cold. Yeah. You could make a model out of this. This full 3D turnaround, A. And more concept art. Oh my god, he's absolutely serving here. They did need to turn this down. They needed to make him uglier so that people wouldn't thirst over him as much. This needs to be a woman-focused game. Shit. This one, the man bun, this is giving Date. This is giving Date. This is Date. This is Date. This is Date. Hello, Kaname Date. Nice to see you here. Oh, they're coming up with new Carloses and Diane. I like that he's a little bit overweight, you know? And we got Emma Rockford. Yeah, they're killing it with her. I do like they gave her the big mane. The mane is important. Yeah. Title screen, hanging out. Sign the papers. Reyes defeat. So true. Oh, the parallels. The parallels. I see what you're going for, eh? Heart fake killer. Yeah, they had that like fake concept art there before. And then like, whoops, it's secretly Morgan. You didn't know. You didn't know. I knew, but you didn't know. And this is the android. I know the android's name. But hey. All right. Bonus scenarios, eh? Oh, cool. I got all of them. Yeah, I got time. Let's go. Let's check out these scenarios. I don't have time to start episode 1, I don't think, but let's wrap up these interviews and then we can call it an evening and find someone else to raid. Keep the trains going. The trains were ran on me, huh? London interview. My network files capture video interviews. London 01 vid. Begin playback. Want to interview me? Very flattering, but aren't there more lively folks around here for you to question? I had considered that. So I'm not your first choice. You are the first one who hasn't walked away. 3 times within an hour. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. When I think of it, I should probably. So what are your 3 sizes? You've been opening with that? Should I not? Do you have any pets? Oh, is this the Android again? Is that why the text is orange and it's a little bit like tick 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 sound effect? It might be the Android. Okay. Afraid not. Would need 1 or 2. Or 3 promotions to afford that kind of thing. Are pets that expensive? Only if you care about them. Maybe if you find a place closer to the park. Have you ever owned any automated dependents? Not had the chance. Would you own one if you could? Maybe one of the little vacuum ones. Anything more complicated than that is... If you find the owner's manuals intimidating, there are video-based tutorials I could show you. I'm not worried about the ease of use, don't worry. When I say complicated, I mean... like what I said about pets. Find to leave a goldfish in a tiny bowl. Time it takes to swim a half a lap, it'll have forgotten what the first half looks like. Not a very tall hierarchy of needs there. Easy to please. But a cat? A dog? I don't want to be at work thinking about how bored they are sitting at home. And today's ads are a lot smarter than dogs. About most things. That's a very thoughtful perspective, Detective London. It's a moot point anyway. I'd need to get hit by a city bus to afford any of the new stuff Noble's selling. No, you're thinking of the sheltered generation. Sheltered as in sheltered upbringing? Or shelter in place. There was a lot of uncertainty during their childhood. So when they grew up, they wanted surety, safety, stability. Wanted to know that their heat would stay on in the winter. And their politics reflected that. But that was all before my time. My generation is a little more, Generation Zen. That's what they called us in their think pieces. Even-tempered, mentally strong, and more than a little cynical. You disagree? Wasn't a matter of mindfulness, we just grew up without false expectations. Our vision wasn't clouded with illusions about impossibilities like home ownership or retirement. We realized early on that we'd be working right up until we... Detective? Unrealistic expectations. Some people call that hope. See your friends, your classmates drowning every day in that kind of mire, and then have to listen to people 3 times your age go on about how enlightened today's youth are. Gen Zen. It's not a name I'm particularly fond of. So how long have you been in law enforcement? Too long. And how long have you been with the homicide department? Not that long by comparison. Sorry, don't mean to be overly vague. If you really want to know, I spent the bulk of my career over in arson. Was it different from homicide? Flashier, I'd say. Everyone jokes that homicides solve themselves in this city with this many cameras. Meanwhile, fraud and disinfo are so entrenched in the tech arms race that they barely come up for air. But arson really hasn't changed much in the modern era. Fire's still very good at destroying evidence. Can't expect the drone net to sweep into burnt rubble and bring you back the culprit's fingerprints and driver's license. It's a lot of legwork, a lot of interviewing. And since more than half the culprits we caught were burners helping Megs commit insurance fraud, we spent a lot of time making friends and enemies in high-rise corporate boardrooms. Bedrooms? Damn. Megs? Just slang for mega corporations, which is also just slang. At what size does a corporation become mega? Not really about gross revenue or how many countries you operate in. If you're big enough to crush people, you're a meg. An apex predator among apex predators. Like the Otodus megalodon from the Miocene epoch. Hey, that's... Wait, is that where it comes from? No, mega comes from the Greek prefix for just, like, great, I think. And it's a prefix used in, like, things. So, like, Latin names. It's not named after the dinosaur, idiot. So why are you working in the homicide department? What's that? Why'd you leave arson? Smoke. Smoke? Just got to a point where I couldn't stand the smell. London 1 vid. Playback complete. Cool. The Reyes interview! Oh, this is gonna be great. Begin playback. Okay, you can start now that my desktop's censored. So for the record, your full name is? Farrah Reyes. And how is that pronounced? Like how I just said it? Farrah Reyes. Thank you. Your birthday is October 19th. And how do you take your coffee? She makes you fetch the coffee? Figures. Wait, let me guess. Counselor Morgan takes her coffee black? No, decaf, like a real psychopath. Decaf, yes. Sometimes with milk. Nice. That's even worse. And you, detective? With 2 sugars and a bottle of water, now that I've got this. Now that I've got this. Ah, the eye. You mean your eye? When did you have it modded? After I learned I was getting promoted to detective. And before I realized I was getting promoted to homicide. Do you regret it? No. Would have wanted it for work eventually, if it takes me a while longer to pay off than I expected. Well, I'm hardly the only person my age walking around with their debts socketed into them. I see. What are your likes? My likes? Pretty broad ass, don't you think? In that case, perhaps you find it easier to describe your dislikes? Small plates. Oh. I hate that dinner by 1,000 cut shit. I see. And I dislike cheap people. And liars. And lawyers. Lawyers? They're smug. Prideful. They bill by the minute. Greed personified. Like the time is so goddamn important. They're annoying. And pale. And smug. Should I put down smug twice? So what do you like, detective? Do you have hobbies? Areas of interest? Well, automotive history. Maybe. Oh, could you say more about that? I guess I could talk about it a little bit. She has a point, though. Reyes just knows the one. Actually, I guess the 2, if she's also met Emma. Because Emma is also pale, smug, and smug. The following section has been altered from its original format. It has been edited for time. I go, it was supposed to be a luxury version of a pickup truck. And there's a market for that. It's so stupid. I love it. And aesthetic chrome, a purplish bluish chromish color. The copyright was so intense that just mixing the paint was illegal for naturally aspirated. Can you imagine? I see. Do you own a car yourself? You're joking, right? I'd rather eat asphalt than buy an EV with my hard-earned money. The following section has also been altered. It has been edited for time. Strong language. Full road isn't a computer chip. That's not engineering. That's barely even programming. And as if acceleration was all that mattered. Any race longer than 2 seconds and simulated engine noise. And who in their right mind? I believe that fills out your dislike section. So what is your favorite drink? Dark and stormy is pretty good. How do you make that? Ginger beer, rum, and a lot of lime juice. You putting together a recipe book or something? Ginger beer, rum, and a lot of lime juice, eh? Not sure I'm familiar with a drink like that. First time I've heard about it. Seems harsh. Ginger beer, strong. It has a strong flavor. Rum, I don't know because I don't drink rum. But a lot of lime juice. Lime juice is pretty strong. So, who is your hero? Well, that one's easy. Detective Quasim London, of course. Oh. Should I relay your sentiments to him? I'm sure he'd love to hear them. Somehow, I doubt that you get the tone right. Oh, was she being facetious? I see. Very well. In that case, what are your 3 sizes? My what? The measurements for your bust, waist, and... I'm not telling you that. Where the hell are you getting these questions from? I designed my interview process to extract all the same kinds of facts that are most commonly listed online. On what websites? Open source, collaborative, community-focused databases. Mean like a wiki? Would you prefer to skip this question? Tell you what. If you can find a single person who does answer that question, I'll give you mine down to the millimeter. Playback complete. I can't believe it. That's really funny. All right. Time for the Carlos interview, eh? The interview with Carlos? Carlos Flatbed vid. So this is like an offboarding thing? An exit interview? Yes, it is like that. Oh. Well, that's sweet of Morgan, still worrying about me. How'd she know I'd be here? She didn't. Why are you here? Oh. Hoping to get back some of my stuff that this police collected as evidence. Don't tell Morgan that, by the way. Is there something embarrassing among what they seized? No, it's just, I'm guessing as my lawyer. Is she still my lawyer? As a lawyer, she'd probably know the exact right form to get this stuff back, but it's okay. I wanted to do this myself. Why is that? Conquering my fears, maybe? Last time I came here, I was dragged in, strong-armed. Everything was going so fast I barely spoke. I didn't stand up for myself. If I'd been able to stop and think things through clearly, well, I could never have done what Morgan did, but maybe I wouldn't have got myself dug so deep. It must have been very upsetting being accused of something so terrible. I'm sure you reacted just as well as anyone could be expected to. Thanks. I think. My arm? No, it's not back yet. At this point, I might be better off getting an upgrade rather than waiting for my current model to get fixed. Is that allowed? Yeah, it is. Can't downgrade, can't trade in, can't opt out. But Hindi will let me upgrade at any time. Do you ever regret it? Getting pardon me. Getting modded? Sometimes. But I have a lot of regrets. Compared to some of them, buyer's remorse is... How do you deal with your buyer's remorse? Lately, I've been lying face down on the floor and exhaling. Just for 30 seconds. I count to 30. And you feel better afterwards? Yeah. I mean, I've seen the protests, but there's a lot of pains being a modder. Makes sense people would have loud opinions, want them heard. But we all made a choice. I'll sign the papers. I guess that's just it, huh? Not all of us made the choice ourselves. I got modded to help my career. Didn't need to get modded in order to have one. A lot of people did, and do. There's this guy who worked with us for 1 quarter. Probably a vet, but definitely didn't want to talk about it, so none of us asked. Good co-worker, very gung-ho, cheery in a musclehead kind of way. It's a physical job, so there's no slouches, but he wasn't just fit, he was cut and handsome. And so when he kept showing up to work with more and more mods, all of them cosmetic, I didn't get it. What's he missing? What's he all like that want to change about himself? Got offered full-time at the end of the contract, but he said he needed something that paid better. Turns out he'd blown every paycheck at elective surgeons. Alamine in HR said he'd given his insurance info to 6 different clinics in the span of 4 weeks. Word is he wasn't even using pain pills. Sold them to some of the drivers for extra cash. That's the worst I've ever seen it. Grafting runaway or plastophilia, whatever they're calling it now. Ugh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, not... Even now, that does affect some people, unfortunately. Yeah. Runaway plastic surgeries to fix some sort of deep-seated dysphoria with themselves. That they know internally that the solution is, of course, to make themselves look better, make themselves look different, rather than treating the core issue. And there's a middle ground to be found for sure. It's not the only time I've seen it. Not like there's no incentive for it. Because there are plenty of megs out there that see people hurting like that and think, there's an ideal worker. So, you work for Morgan and you're... Wow. Lawyers must make more money than I realized. Wait, are you here to give me the bill? How much do I owe? You don't owe her anything. Her services were paid for by the state. And I happen to be forbidden from handling any kind of financials. Due to an ongoing dispute about what constitutes essential office supplies. What constitutes essential office supplies? Oh no. Sarah, what are you buying? I hear you. Diane was always the money smart one. Pretty strict, actually. Unless she saw a fidget tubby on the shelf. You could see her eyes light up, could hear her huffing like she just won the lottery. You're ugly, cute, babe. And I would say, well, you're cute, babe. Believe it or not. I thought I was pretty suave. Aww. Poor guy, she's dead. We killed her. Anyways. Last but not least, the Morgan interview. It's Morgan time. Morgan 01. Begin playback. You're gonna interview me? Here? You did say I need to practice asking better questions. But right now, because you said the police would be making us wait so they feel more important for the next 20 minutes. Is there some more productive way we could spend that time? I was planning on napping. For 20 minutes? In the lobby of a police precinct? I can fall asleep anywhere. It's one of my many hidden talents. You're gonna write all this down. Did you start with your name for the record? Morgan. And your first name? You should know by now that no one calls me by my first name. That's something you have control over. I wouldn't want to force the issue. How long has that been the case? As long as I can care to remember. And what did your parents call you? The tumor. Hey, so Emma was right. The childhood trauma, eh? That was a joke. Oh. Maybe we should have just started you off with someone a little more your speed. I don't think it was a joke, Morgan. I don't think it was a joke. Who better to start with than you? Someone who likes talking about themselves. You seem to talk about yourself as much as anyone else does. Or more. I tell people about myself. It's different. Because you're lying? Now you're getting it. It's not very polite to lie. On the contrary, telling the truth is usually rude. I'm not sure that your clients would appreciate that sentiment. We're not talking about my clients, we're talking about manners. We were supposed to be talking about you. Look, the sooner you learn this, the better. When people ask how you are or what you've been up to, they're not looking for anything nearly so heavy as the truth. They're just following the template, and the polite thing to do is for you to follow the template as well. Here, let's practice. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Way too late. The whole point is to be on autopilot. Now you've forced them to grab the wheel, check their mirrors, and no one's ever grateful for the extra workload. You can be very cynical about these kinds of things at times. I'm just trying to teach. I'm just trying to tell you that people are fundamentally lazy. So if you want to be a social butterfly like me, try not to make them work so hard. Fundamentally lazy? Do you think people are fundamentally good too? Obviously. If they weren't, they wouldn't be so easy to trick. So are you planning on answering any of my questions about yourself? I've still got time to kill. Fire away. Will you be honest? I wouldn't want to be rude. Damn. Fucking got him. When is your birthday? Wait, you're not trying to guess my passwords, are you? I would never commit identity fraud. Not the worst way of going about it, actually. December 26th. 26th. That's almost... Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. That's almost Christmas. But almost Christmas means it's not Christmas. I love knowing about the shadows on the wall. I love jumping into Plato's cave and and sitting there and the shadows go and I'm like, I know that one. I know what that one is. That one's a bird flying. It's a sparrow even. Your insights are always so original. Did you receive your presents on your birthday or on Christmas? What do you mean? Did you not celebrate Christmas in your family? We did. So did your parents give you presents on the 25th or the 26th? Well, I got Christmas presents on Christmas, and I got birthday presents on my birthday. Obviously. Are all your questions going to be this strange? What is your favorite color? Are all your questions going to be this juvenile? If you prefer something weightier, do you volunteer? No. You donate? Yes. What causes you to donate? What causes do you donate towards? Endangered wildlife. What's with the face? It's on auto renewal. I just haven't canceled it yet. You've mentioned a mentor figure before. No way I ever called her a mentor. A busybody, maybe. World record holder for billable hours spent under the influence, perhaps. Damn! Or just, you know, the cougar from hell. If she had rubbed off on me in any way, I'd have hives. I see. Is she a smoker? Lastly, do you know your 3 sizes? I do. Would you tell me? That's private. You value your privacy very highly, don't you? More like everyone else doesn't value it enough. Water's rising, the world's getting smaller, literally. Less real estate to go around. And everything's connected to everything else. These days, just wanting some time or space to yourself is considered selfish, or worse. Only the guilty have something to hide. I don't like that phrase. Laws like the Mob Act have made it so anonymity and privacy are luxuries. Privileges reserved for the privileged. And if anyone below that tax bracket tries to claw away a little bit of it for themselves, well, it can only be because they're guilty, right? Is that why you became a criminal defense attorney? To defend people's innocence? That's private. I love Morgan. She's so great. All right. With those out of the way, we can go back to the main menu. I'm pretty sure. New title screen for episode 1, baby! All right. Thank you all so much for coming by and hanging out. Let's see who we can raid. Oh, man, they got a train going in the background, too, and everything. She's got a whiskey. Awesome. We love a girl who shoots people in the fucking heart? I don't know. Anyways. Let's see who's live. Who can we raid right now? A lot of people I'm following. Yeah, we're going to do a follower raid. Let's raid Sorencaster. Raid Soren. It'll be great. The best sleep aid is solo hunts at an odd hour. That is so true. That is so true, in fact. All right, we'll raid Soren. It'll be great. We'll have a little bit of Monster Hunter for free. For free. Thank you all so much for coming by and hanging out while we checked out Of the Devil, episode 0. Great timing on the ending. It's a well-timed game so far. We'll get to episode 1 next Wednesday, and I've heard it's longer, so maybe it won't be all of the game, you know? Anywho. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Friday will be Pokemon. Monday will be 100 Line, and we'll be gaming the rest of the year, I guess. I don't know. Keep an eye out on my socials, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Good night. Bye.
When you take a classic like Hidden Valley Ranch and mix it with Diablo, do you make a classic nugget to dip in it?
Heck no.
No, you do not. Real pieces of all white meat chicken breaded in tortilla chips. Crispy chicken nuggets.